Hi, I'm Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full yoga class. I teach a different follow-along class every week with a different theme. And this week, the theme is finding the pause. So that doesn't mean stopping. It means rather than focusing on the doing, we focus on the being. And we're going to really work in our practice with the pelvis today. So let's go ahead and get on the mat, and I'll meet you there. So now we've made it over to the yoga mat. But before we get started, I always practice with a set of yoga blocks and a little towel, but it's completely optional in this class. So let's go ahead and find our way to all fours. And in this all fours position, we're going to do the cat-cow, but with a focus on the pelvis. And so as you exhale, really rounding into that cat by tucking the tail under and feeling a sense of squeezing in, like the legs are squeezing in towards each other, and that creates a lift and the spine can really round. And then pause for a moment and just feel that. And now inhale, start to come forward, and now the pelvis does the opposite. It's like you're sticking your butt out, and it feels like it's spreading a little bit more, and the heart is opening and the back is working. One more time, exhale, feel like you're squeezing your legs in, pulling the belly in and really stretching across the back. And then inhale, come forward, feel like you're widening maybe the knees, the hips, the pelvis a little here as you come into the arch. And then come to neutral. And then from here, let's make our way to downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under, lifting up, pulling the belly in and really reaching. Find the pauses here. So inhale, exhale, pause. Notice what's going on. Do you want to roll your shoulders open? Do you want to bend the knees so that you can get the back a little bit more lengthened? Just pause and notice what's going on in your body. Keeping the breath going. Inhale and exhale. And now let's slowly make our way up to the front. I like to feel very light here, like I'm pushing my hands down, pulling my belly in, lightly making your way up. And then exhale, fold. And then from here, you could grab your elbows and just let your body hang for a moment. And then we're going to slowly roll up. You could soften your knees, pull the belly in, feel a sense of that squeezing in as you roll up, pulling the belly way in. Coming all the way up to standing, the shoulders roll down and back, and then pause, and then step everything together for Samasatihi, standing still and straight and ready to start sun salutations. But first, just notice how you're standing in Tadasana. Is your butt tucking under or maybe sticking out? Can you balance your pelvis? So here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, fold. Really hinging at the hips and coming forward. And then inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back to a plank. Now in this plank, you want to take the tail under, but not too much. And you don't want to have the butt sticking out either. So nice neutral. Now if you want to try and really hold this as we lower down. So I'm going to come down to my knees because that makes it a little easier. Lower. Try and keep that body line. Rise up. And then we're going to come through to upward facing dog. Try to keep your tail under an upward facing dog and lift the sternum, gazing down the nose, and pause. Notice what's going on in your body today. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And you could step in if you needed to. You could bend the knees. Just notice. Are you starting to feel more open here? Inhale. Exhale. Find a pause at the end of the exhale. Inhale. Exhale, find that pause and just be. And then from here, let's make our way up slowly. You can push down to lift up, just very lightly, always trying to be light, and fold. And then inhale, lengthen, and rise. Inhale, and exhale, the hands come down. Surya Namaskar B. I'm going to use the blocks for assistance with this one because it gives you a little bit of height. And inhale, reach up. It makes it easier to step back and forward. Hold. Inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back to the plank. Hold the plank. And then we're going to lower again. And rise. And come through. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to step forward for a lunge on the right side. So step the right foot forward. And find a focus down your nose and straight ahead as you rise up. Notice the hips here, the pelvis. Tuck the pelvis under a little on the left side and pull the right butt back. You could bend this knee to really get that. You should feel a stretch on the front of the thigh. Find your angel arms where the shoulders are down and the back is working. Then start to straighten the back leg. As we start to reach the arms, the back is working, the front is opening, the hips are strong. And then inhale, rise up. Keep focusing on your hips. Reach. Take the hands down, step back, and then lower. Rise up and come through. Inhale and exhale. We'll do the left side. Step the left foot forward, find the gaze, and once you're here, tuck that right butt under a little so you feel the stretch. Pull the left hip back, find the angel arms. And now as you straighten the back leg and start to reach back, find the pauses. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe there's a pause. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up. Reach forward. Take the hands down. Step back. And we'll lower. And rise. And come through. Big breath in. Tail is under. And exhale. Downward facing dog. And breathe here. Again, finding those spaces where you can just really be in the moment of this and notice what's going on in your body. Inhale. Exhale. Allow the openings to happen. And then I'm going to lightly hop up, but you could walk up. So I'm pushing down with my arms, lifting the pelvis up, and then putting the feet down. The blocks really help to get height in that. Inhale and come to stand. We'll do one more. Bend the knees, reach the arms, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back. Feel that lift up and back. Neutral spine. Start to lower and rise and come through. Sternum really lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming into warrior one this time. So the back heel comes down this time, but you still want to feel that left butt going under and the right butt going back, and reach through the arms. Inhale here, exhale, find a pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, reach. You might find a pause here. Take the hands down. And let's lower. And rise. And come through. Lift the sternum, tail is under. And exhale. Left side. Stepping the left foot forward. Taking the right foot down. But still keep that butt under on the right side as we circle the arms. The pelvis is strong. You're pulling the left hip back, tucking the right butt under. Inhale. Exhale, pause. Inhale. Exhale, pause. Inhale, reach up. Reach forward. Take the hands down. Stepping back. Let's go ahead and lower. And then rise and come through. Big breath in, lifting up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale, pause. Moving with your breath, you feel the body starting to open. Inhale and exhale. One more big breath in and exhale. Your choice, you could lightly walk up or you could feel the lift here and exhale. And then bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. Let's take the feet hip width And then keeping that neutral pelvis, pubic bone and belly button on the same plane, we start to come forward. So you're trying not to round your low back. Come forward. If you needed to, you could bend your knees a little if that was happening. But let's take the hands on the shins and try to look up and lengthen. Try to really engage the front of the leg so you're stretching the back. And then exhale, folding at the hip sockets. Just begin to draw down. And breathe. Inhale. Release the shoulders. Exhale. And then inhale, lengthen. Find your spine really lengthening here as you rise. And let's exhale, step everything together. For Samasetahi, finding yourself in that pause, standing still and straight. And I'm going to use the blocks here for some standing poses. One in the front, one in the back. Again, they just give a little height. So let's step out. Now we're going to do some open hip poses. So we'll start with Warrior 2. Turn your back foot in, and then you're going to turn your right foot out. So you feel that external rotation here. There's internal rotation here. And then we bend. And notice, where's your pelvis? Is your butt kind of sticking out? Or can you take it more neutral? And then reach the arms. Feel really open across your chest, gently gazing to the fingertips. And then we'll take this into Utthita Parshva, extended side angle. So you could have your hand on the leg, or you could use a prop and reach up, and let's open that shoulder. And then from here, feel what's going on in your pelvis and your hips as you reach. Reach. You want to keep trying to open that right hip. Breathe. And then from here, we're going to reach up to Trikonasana. So we straighten the front leg, keep pulling that right hip back. And again, make sure your pelvis isn't back, right? And really feel the openness here. You might even feel some hamstrings in this one. And then let's reach for a side stretch, side body stretch. And then from here, let's go ahead and rise. We'll come into Warrior 2 on the other side. So the right foot turns in, the left foot turns out, feeling how the hips are really open here. Inhale here. Exhale. Make sure your butt's not sticking out, right? You really, really balance that. And gaze over the fingertips. Parshva. So we'll come here. You could take your hand here, here, or you could use the block. Reach up, roll your shoulder open, and then reach over. Nice line from my pinky finger to my outer edge of my right foot. And then reaching up, straightening the front leg. So now you might feel more hamstrings, but keeping that butt under so your butt's not sticking out. And open that right shoulder as you lift up. Go ahead and reach. Now I feel a nice side body. And then reach your other arm. Use the pelvis, all the muscles in the hips to rise up. And then we're going to turn the feet this way for Prasarita Padottanasana, spread out pose. Coming forward, hinging at the hips. So make sure you feel like you're sticking your sitting bones out as you come forward. And then let's just go ahead and grab the big toes and pull down. You could always use a block here if you needed to. And make sure here that your shoulders are rolling away from your ears, not towards your ears, so you can get your back engaged a bit. Straighten the legs as best you can. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's take the hands on the waist and rise up. Now we'll come into Goddess pose. So in Goddess pose, turn out to what feels good in your hips. And we're going to play a little bit with this. So what does it feel like to stick the butt out and arch forward? It might feel like a stretch. And then what does it feel like to tuck under, right? And then come to neutral. And as you do that, start to sink down and start to notice, are your knees going in? Or can you open those knees? And you're not sticking your butt out too much and you're not tucking under. You're somewhere right in the middle. Pelvis is neutral. Breathe. You should feel a nice opening and a nice working in the external rotators, and then rise up. Let's go ahead and turn to the right. We're going to do a variation of Parsvottanasana into Pavrita Trikonasana, or revolved triangle. So notice how your hips are. You really want them both facing the same direction. We'll reach the arms up and start to come forward. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, you might notice that your body starts to turn a little. Try to pull your right butt back and turn the left hip in so that you avoid doing that and you get more length. Then you could use your block here and take your hands down. And with your hands down, it's easier to work on pulling this left butt back. And maybe you could surrender in. And then we'll inhale. Now keep this long line in the hips squared. We're gonna move the block to the outside of that right ankle. And the hips don't move very much. You wanna just turn the ribs. You wanna keep this line and then start to turn. So you're really using all the muscles in the pelvis to balance hips. And then inhale here and rise up. It's a good stretch to the hamstrings. And twists always feel good in the spine, I think. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, come forward. Be careful that your hips don't turn. You really want to try and pull this left hip back. You could use the block again. And really, with the hands down, you can really pull this back. Notice that. You're feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings. Inhale, lengthen. Take the block to the outside of your left ankle, but keep your body line straight so you're not leaning in. And then start to turn, not from the hips, but from the ribs. Inhale. Exhale, find that pause where you can turn a little more. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, rising all the way up. And then we'll step everything together at Samasatihi. And now I'm just gonna move the blocks and we'll come into Vrikshasana or tree pose. So you could use the support of a wall behind you if you felt like you needed that. So let's go ahead and find a drishti or a focus point a little forward. We're gonna let the right leg come up and really push down through the left leg. Feel your pelvis nice and neutral here. Then we're gonna open the knee out to the side and notice what's going on here, right? Keep that drishti. You could take your hands together here. You could make your way up. Maybe you want to back bend. Maybe that feels good in your body. Lift up. And then we're slowly going to come down, keeping that drishti down now. Now we're going to take the leg across. See how this works for you. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you can come down. Maybe you want to use the wall. And then find that same focus point. You should be feeling the hips. Try to take your butt under. So don't stick your butt out here. Try to get the pelvis under, then you'll feel the work in a good way. So let's do the other side. So pushing down through my right foot, lifting the left leg up. And then I bring it across, I open the hip, and I'm feeling the pelvis nice and neutral here. Keeping this drishti, finding the pause. Inhale here, reaching up. Maybe you take it into a back bend if that feels good. And you can change your focus upward. And then slowly coming down, finding that gaze. Pause, taking the leg across. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're here. Maybe you can come all the way down here. Take the butt under. Really feel the opening. Breathe. Half lotus, Ardha Baddha, half bound lotus. And let's come to the front of the mat. Pause, Samasatihi. Inhale, reach the arms up. Starting to move again. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and go to a down dog for a moment and just feel that, what's going on now. Be in that space, that pause. And now we're gonna slowly make our way up and we're gonna slowly come down to the floor. Try not to use your hands very much, maybe just a little. And then Dandasana. And from Dandasana, sit way up. Even if you have to bend your knees, you wanna not have your pelvis curled back here. You wanna really sit up and try to get a sense of widening here. So if you needed to, you could use your prop here if your hamstrings were tight to go around your feet. You can even use a longer yoga belt. And then keeping the low back engaged, right? Feeling that sense of widening, start to straighten the legs and deeply hinge in the hips. And then just take it to where you want to go. And breathe. Really engage the legs. Inhale. The upper spine can round here, that's fine. And exhale. Again, breathing. Finding those pauses. It's in the pauses that the magic happens. You might find you go a little deeper. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. And then from here, we're going to round the spine a little bit as we get into deeper hip stretches. So let's go ahead and bend the knees and let your spine curl back. And then just let your knees, you can have your hands turned out if you want to, just let your knees go to one side, the left side, come up, just nice and loose in the hip sockets. See where you can go with that. And we'll do it one more time. And I'm curling back in my pelvis, just allowing. And come up. Now we're going to take the shape of 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So what that means is the front leg, as best you can, is at a 90-degree angle. And the back leg is at a 90-degree angle. Your knees should align with your hip as best you can. If you find you're really falling over like this, just put a block there. So do what you need to do, and we'll all meet here. Now, as you sit up, you want to feel internal rotation here in this hip, and external rotation in the front hip. And then from there, you could use your hands a lot if you needed to. It's okay to lean onto that right side. We're coming forward. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale, pause, and see if you can find depth. Inhale. Exhale, pause. And just notice what's going on here. And keep finding those little pauses, those releases. And then we're going to rise up. And we're going to try and find pigeon pose here. So you're going to bend the front knee a little bit more, trying to keep your knee aligned with your hip as best you can, but listen to your knee first. If you're having knee pain, then you're going to have to move that around and feel what works in your body. And then we're going to lift up. I'm drawing the butt under on this left side and pulling the right butt back. You could use a block here for support to help maintain that alignment. And then inhale here. Exhale, come forward. And just breathe. Inhale. Exhale, find the pause and the opening in the outer hip. Inhale. And exhale. And one more big breath in. Exhale. You could always pause the video and stay longer if you'd like. I'm going to come up and we're going to take this to the other side. So find your 90-90 again. And then from here, you could use your hands in back of you to switch sides, or maybe you don't need them. Just play around with that. I'm going to bring the block over. So once you have your 90-90, it's okay to lean, right? You could even use a block under your left butt if you needed to, and then sit up. Try to roll this right inner thigh in, and you're rolling the left thigh out. And then let's start to come forward. Inhale, exhale, melt. Inhale, exhale, melt some more. Inhale. It's all about the pauses. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, start to rise up. And from here, we're going to pull that left leg in a bit, but listen to your knee and turn that right hip in. You might want to use a block here. And then from here, we're going to start to come forward. And really inhale, exhale. You want to feel the outer left hip. You might feel a stretch on the hip flexors on the right side too. Inhale, exhale, allow your body to melt. And just focus on the breath and the pauses. Inhale. It's like you don't have to do it. It's just happening. Breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, slowly rising up. I'm going to take the block out. Come back to that 90-90. You could use your hands, but I'm going to just see if I can transition back to the front. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and make our way over to all fours. So coming on to all fours. You could use blocks here. If you needed assistance, we're going into Anjaneyasana. So if you needed assistance to get your foot up there, you could use the blocks. And then you want to be a little forward on your kneecap, not directly on it. You could use a little padding if you needed to. And Anjaneyasana is so great with the pelvis because the left side is really tucking under and the right side is really pulling back. So that creates stability. That combined with the angel arms, so the shoulders are going down and the back is contracting, so you feel the back working and the front opening as you come into the pose. You could start to bend the front knee a little more, but keep that left butt under. Find the pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, rising up. And we'll go to the other side. So you can move your prop over. If you were using the blocks, they come in handy. And then feeling that right butt under, the left butt pulling back. And then we add the angel arms and we start to come into the pose. So the back is contracting and working and the front is opening. You can start to bend the front knee a little more. Inhale, exhale, start to add the arms. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. One more. Pause. Inhale, rise up. And we'll slowly make our way down to the floor. It always feels so good to back bend, open the hips, work the hips. Let's come into Upavishta Konasana. So you could have your feet, it's a wide angle pose. It doesn't have to be too wide. This is probably good for most of us. Notice when you're in this position, does your pelvis curl back? Are you tight in the inner thighs? That's okay. Bend the knees and see if you can sit up. And do that a few times. You can curl back, bend the knees and see if you can sit up. And then some of you might be able to keep your legs straight. So if you're in this position and you want to come forward, that's fine. Feel the sitting bones spread here as you come forward. Maybe you can grab your feet and feel like you're sticking the butt out and spreading the sitting bones as you come forward. So you're getting that nice forward bend, inner thigh stretch, reaching, breathing. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. And you only go as deep as your body wants to go today. And the pauses will tell you where that is. So even if you're up here and you're getting openings, that's great. And then let's slowly release. Legs out in front. Let's go ahead and make our way down to the floor. So as we do this roll back, I want you to think about squeezing your legs together and curling your pelvis back. That's because we're using the abdominals here and we're opening the back. It's a stretch for the back. Curl. Pull the belly in all the way down. And then we're going to come into an articulating bridge. So bending the knees, you're going to start to curl the pelvis under, squeezing the legs together, but they're not all the way together, but just that sense that they're not turning out, right? You're really lifting from underneath. You get this nice stretch here. You can lift up as high as you can. Lift, keep feeling the work in the legs. If you want to, you could lift the heels. This time, let's reach the arms and we'll articulate down. So start to curl your spine. Tuck the tail under. This is a nice release. Pull the belly way in, curl your way down, and coming all the way down. Let's leave the arms here for a moment and take the feet together and the knees out. Supta Baddha Konasana should feel good because the hips are nice and open. And just breathe here. Pause. You could close your eyes and just notice what's going on. Now you could stay here. I'm going to take us through a little closing. You could put your pelvis up on a block, or maybe you just want to have your feet up for a little inversion, just to reverse blood flow for a moment. Some people like to go over to halasana and make their way up to shoulder stand. Feel free again to pause the video if you want to take your time with this little inversion section. But we'll all meet here. You could even have your legs up on a wall or a chair. And then we'll slowly take the legs down. And then from here, let's just take the feet about mat width. Arms out to the side. Let's let the left knee fall and then the right knee. Just a nice stretch across the top of the hips and a nice little twist, and come up, and we'll go the other way. And then one more time. This time I'm going to take my left ankle and put it on top of my right knee. It's just a nice pull down. And then I'm going to take my gaze over to the right shoulder. Find the pause here where you can just really release. Inhale and exhale. And then come back. We'll go the other way. Right knee falls, left knee falls, right ankle over left knee if you want, feeling this nice stretch across the hip. Maybe you want to take your gaze to the left, finding the pause as you inhale and exhale. Slowly bringing everything up, coming into a happy baby pose. You can rock around a little bit. And then release everything into Savasana, where you're going to stay in this sense of pause. And you can even pause the video. But I'm going to go ahead and make my way up to seated, because I'm going to go through some inspirational quotes on pause. But feel free to stay here and just absorb it. So if you're coming up, I'm just bending the knees, coming over to my side, pausing there, and coming up to seated. And I'll go through the quotes. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause, breathe, and begin again. The pause is where clarity lives, in the space between action and reaction, between inhale and exhale. A pause isn't a break from life. It's a return to it. In the stillness of a pause, we remember what truly matters. Before you push forward, pause. There's wisdom in waiting and grace in taking your time. And let this theme of pause resonate in everything you do. Namaste.